Serving 26 schools across more than 500 square miles, Pulaski County Special School District is one of the largest school districts in the state of Arkansas. Our district strives to help each student discover his or her full potential while preparing students for life and cultivating future leaders. PCSSD continues to strengthen the relationship between its public schools and the community. Our district is committed to creating a nationally recognized school district that assures that all students achieve at their maximum potential through collaborative, supportive, and continuous efforts of all stakeholders. The schools participating in this football game are members of the Arkansas Activities Association as authorized by their school. The administrators of these schools have helped to write the rules and regulations that govern participation of students in competitive activities for the schools that are members of the AAA. The Arkansas Activities Association, which is sponsoring this football game, is a voluntary nonprofit educational association of some 500 junior and senior public and private high schools of Arkansas. The regulations which guide these events are adopted by the schools themselves and determine the type of program they believe to be most desirable for high school youth. The Arkansas Activities Association is one of 50 state organizations that belong to the National Federation of High School Associations. This association formulates policies, game rules, and standards for inter-school competition. The schools of Arkansas have adopted these rules on eligibility which correspond to those recommended by the National Federation. The Arkansas Activities Association recognizes that athletes represent more than themselves in athletic competition. They represent their team, their fellow students, their teachers, and the community. Athletes who display good sportsmanship reflect high moral standards.
Welcome, Bears fans, to another edition of Sylvan Hills Bears football on the PCSSD Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports. Tonight's matchup is going to be between the Sylvan Hills Bears and the El Dorado Wildcats. Another big matchup for conference turnout. But let me go ahead and take a minute and introduce our team tonight. In the booth is myself, Jake Hall, and my broadcast partner, Dylan Davis. I know we're both excited to call another Bears conference game tonight. Continuing on with our team is going to be Will Watkins on production. And then on our main camera tonight will be Valerie Haley, and on the field camera will be Patrick Haley. Couldn't ask for a better crew to put together these games week in, week out. Tonight's game is very important as it's really going to shake up maybe some of these playoff standings. The playoff picture could change tonight. But again, I want to thank you guys for joining our pregame show. We're about to break down the matchup between the Sylvan Hills Bears and the El Dorado Wildcats, as well as go over some of our other PCSSD Sports Network games, as well as our game to watch throughout the state. Let's go ahead and get into it, starting with the Sylvan Hills Bears. The Bears are tied for 6th in the 6A East and are coming off a loss to a top 3 team in 6A, the Catholic Rockets. The Bears are 2-1 in their last 3 games and had a chance to win last week. The Bears' offense came out swinging last week with a very impressive 9-minute touchdown drive to start the game. They really just kind of did whatever they wanted on the field right there to start the game, and we haven't seen that from the Bears all season, really.
Yeah, you could say that was their best offensive possession really of the whole season. And it came in a good time against a very good Catholic Rocket team. And unfortunately, just kind of, that was really the last good drive we saw them have that night. Just couldn't keep it going.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, both offenses kind of stalled out there at the beginning but Catholic finally got on the board and tied it up 7-7 early in the second quarter. Again, Sylvan Hill's offense just was stalling out. Their defense was doing a really nice job of holding Catholic down for as much as they could. Unfortunately, Catholic finally took a lead after a costly fumble towards the other side of the field. Really put Catholic in good field position right there before the end of the half, and they took the lead 14-7 right before halftime.
Yeah, it's kind of been the same story for the Bears all season long, right? When they take care of the football, when they go unpenalized, they can really play with anyone in the state. But it's the continuous turnovers and the penalties that really just hurt this football team. And unfortunately, they weren't able to avoid those last week.
Yeah, those penalties will really hurt you, especially when you're going up against a team like Catholic, who's on the top of the 6A East right now. Still going forward, though, at halftime, Catholic's offense started after halftime. Their offense really just started to click. They ended up winning the game 24-14. Despite the loss, though, the Bears played pretty well. All in all, I think probably one of their better played games of the season.
Yeah, coming out of halftime, Catholic, they made some good adjustments and really started to scheme open some receivers. And you saw them kind of give some trouble to the back end of the Bears. Had some people pretty wide open, but give credit where it's due for the Rockets quarterback. He kind of put the team on his back and really came out and showed some maturity to win that football game for them.
At the beginning of the year, Chris Hill, he came out and said that their defensive secondary was pretty young for the Bears, and it was probably going to take some time for them to get a little bit of experience, and they'd probably start playing better, and he was definitely right about that. Last week, they had 2 interceptions, one by Jonathan Goins and the other by Pete Overton. Both of those plays really kept them in the ball game for the most part because they kept momentum on their side, and it came at just like the opportune time, one coming at the very beginning of the third quarter.
Yeah, Jonathan Goins got his first start of the season last week, and he was really a welcome sight. He was all over the field making tackles, and you said he had the one interception on the night, just really played a great football game. Hopefully we see more of that out of Mr. Goins tonight.
Absolutely. I'd love to see him come out and continue what he had going against Catholic. On the offensive side of the ball, though, Dylan Harris had another great performance rushing the ball, as he does week in and week out, it seems like. Harris ended the night with 103 yards and a touchdown on 22 attempts.
Yeah, you're going to get a great performance out of Harris every week. He comes with his lunch pail packed, and he's a true blue-collar guy out there. Just is really fun to watch.
And what's more impressive is that he does it on both sides of the ball. Defensive side, he's out there making plays, and on the offensive side, he's really just their workhorse that really just gets them those first downs anytime they need it. But I think last week it just showed that this team has just continued to improve all season, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They have a lot to build on, I think. The offense seems like they're being a little bit more consistent. They're cutting back on the penalties as much as they can. If they could just, all it takes is them to have one perfect game, and they might be able to hang with just about anybody in the state.
Yeah, and they were able to do that last week without Cleo Penn. We're going to hope he's able to go this week. And you saw some of those kind of inexperienced guys make a few mistakes on the offensive side of the football, putting the ball on the ground and things like that. So we hope the Bears can get Cleo Penn back, just a real home run hitter for them. Just adds a different dynamic to this offense. We hope to see him play here tonight.
No, it definitely adds an extra layer to their running attack. You can hand it to Dylan Harris as much as you want, but you need that speed on the outside to really spread that defense out and just kind of keep them on their toes, and that's what Cleo Penn does for this offense. But continuing, though, on improving, the defense has been forcing a lot of turnovers lately, which is a huge factor if you want to be victorious every week. They've had 2 games now with 2 interceptions, and it's been really impressive. They've really kind of gotten the groove of things, of making interceptions and reading the quarterback well. Let's move on to our El Dorado Wildcats, though. El Dorado is currently ranked they're currently in 5th place in the 6A East, while Sylvan Hills is tied for 6th in the 6A East. The game could turn out to be could be pretty pivotal in the playoff race, as the top 6 teams in each division will qualify for a playoff spot. So, I mean, right here, this could be a huge game for both El Dorado and the Sylvan Hills.
Yeah, this is a huge football game, of course, pending some other outcomes in the 6A East. But you have, Sylvan Hills tied there with Sheridan and Searcy at the number 6 spot. If the playoffs started today, they would lose the tiebreaker and Sylvan Hills would lose the tiebreaker and be left out of the dance. But a win here against the number 5 team would go a long way in securing that playoff spot for the Bears.
Absolutely, and I know Chris Hill is definitely thinking about that. I'm sure the whole team might be thinking about that a little bit. El Dorado, though, is coming off a dominant performance, beating Sheridan 38-7 on the road last week. Their head coach, Stephen Jones, said that they are playing a lot better defensively, and it showed last week as they held their opponent to only 7 points. The key for them defensively this game is going to be limiting the Bears' long drives. As we all know, that's what Sylvan Hill's bread and butter is when they get the ball, they string together some really long drives and just kind of eat up a bunch of clock. Keep the opposing offense off the field.
Yeah, and we'll see 2 quarterbacks tonight for the El Dorado Wildcats. And, when you hear that, you think a 2-quarterback system. There's probably one's not as inconsistent. You might think that's an offense that doesn't perform very well. That's not the case with this El Dorado Wildcat team. They're pretty good offensively. Their downfall's really been on the defensive side of the ball, and Coach Jones said that they have started to play better on that side of the football, and they're going to need to play better here tonight if they want to come out with a win.
Absolutely. Offensively, Coach Jones also said they need to limit their turnovers. Turnovers can hurt any team throughout the state, but especially for a team that might be struggling a little bit on defense, you really need that offense to click. And like you were saying, the quarterback system, they have 2 quarterbacks that have combined for 1,400 yards and 13 TDs on this season. So if they can limit the turnovers, they should have a pretty good night. This game is also the Hooten's game of the week for 6A, and El Dorado is favored in this matchup.
Yeah, we're not the only one that has this one circled. Just a huge game for the entire conference, really.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break now, but when we come back, when we get back, it'll be to our pregame show. We will take a look at our other PCSSD Sports Network matchups as well as our Natural State Sports game to watch across the state this week. Welcome back, Bears fans. Let's take a look at our other PCSSD matchups around the state. Starting with our game of the week. The second-ranked Joe T. Robinson at the fifth-ranked Mills in Class 5A. This is sure to be just a huge matchup for the state. Joe T and Mills both moved up to Class 5A this year after previously being ranked in 4A. The last 2 seasons, Joe T has knocked Mills out of the playoffs 2 years in a row now, so it's safe to say these two teams know each other pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, this might be the biggest game, in the state of Arkansas here tonight. Just 2 teams that are very talented and 2 teams that are at the top of the 5A Central right now and just ought to be a really good football game. I'm a little jealous I'm not getting to watch that one tonight, if we're being honest. Just ought to be fireworks on both sides of the football. Just really ought to be a great game.
Absolutely. I know I'm excited for that one. I'm excited to watch this Sylvan Hills game tonight, but I definitely will be keeping an eye on that score for between Robinson and Mills. Joe T suffered a huge loss 2 weeks ago, losing their starting running back Noah Freeman to a broken leg. You just hate to see it. And he was just a pivotal part of their offense. Freeman was a big part of their offense, having 945 yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, Freeman is a great player, but they were able to win last week without him. And so, that's good to see, when a team loses such offensive production that they were able to come back. Quarterback Quentin Murphy really kind of put the team on his back, led them to victory last week. Look for more of that from the Robinson Senators tonight.
Absolutely. That was against a team, BB, who was no slouch, but they definitely aren't at the caliber that Mills is this year. So it's going to be interesting to see what they look like against a talented team like Mills while they're missing Noah Freeman. Mills, though, on the other hand, they were undefeated on the season and looking for their statement win tonight. A win tonight would really just kind of punch their ticket as like one of the tougher teams to beat in 5A in the playoffs. Junior quarterback Achilles Ringo is really the glue that holds this team together. He's completing 65% of his passes for 1,900 yards and 6 touchdowns with only 3 interceptions on the year.
Yeah, he's played phenomenal this season, and they're going to need a heck of a game out of him tonight. And really it's probably both sides' biggest game of the year in terms of talent and caliber of opponent. It ought to just be just a phenomenal matchup between those two. Watching those two quarterbacks go back and forth ought to be quite a treat.
Absolutely. If Ringo's the glue guy, then Senior Jabray Shaw is the star for the Comets. Shaw is a UCA commit and has rushed for 6 touchdowns and has a state best 9 interceptions at safety. He's just a force when he gets out there on the football field. Either way, both teams are tied for first in the 5A Central Division and looking to make a statement tonight. Joe T managed to get a 37-16 win last week against BB, even after the game was tied at halftime. Mills was off last week and should be well rested for this big matchup. Hootens favors Joe T in this matchup. Moving on to our other PCSSD school, we have the Maumelle Hornets hosting Watson Chapel. Maumelle comes to this matchup last in 5A Central Division after suffering a loss against Morrilton 35-14. The Hornets are playing tough for their first-year head coach Brian Maupin, and their stars QB Western Pierce and wide receiver Alan Timmons showed it last week as they played very well. The key for the Hornets tonight has to be to force turnovers. Watson Chapel has shown that they will turn the ball over if they're forced, and the Hornets need to really take advantage of that.
Yeah, Maumelle came out of the gates hot, starting 2-0 this season. They've since lost 5 in a row and just, really kind of had some bad luck there, lost their quarterback for a little while, got him back last week, and really took a very good Morrilton team to the wire. We'll see if they can't bounce back this week and get a win against a Watson Chapel team that, again, hasn't had the season that they would hope either.
It's a most needed win for the Hornets. Watson Chapel committed 5 turnovers in last week's 28-12 loss at Valonia. The Wildcats ran for 166 yards with Marquez Brentley gaining 76 yards and scoring both touchdowns. Hootens favors Maumelle in this matchup. Maumelle, the Hornets really need to get this win. It's going to be exciting. Maupin's first year, they just need some more wins to kind of build on this season and maybe make a push for a playoff spot. Our Natural State Sport game to watch around the state this week is going to be number 2 ranked Cabot at first ranked Bryant. That's going to have huge implications in the 7A 7A division. Both schools are undefeated in the state this year, so it should be a very fun matchup as Cabot beat Conway about 2 weeks ago at Cabot. So this is going to be a road game for the for Cabot for the Panthers. So it should be a really exciting matchup for both teams.
Yeah, Cabot's making the trip down to Saline County, looking to slay the dragon. Slay the beast that is the Bryant Hornets. Bryant does have a young quarterback. Maybe not as an inexperienced, it being the 7th game of the season, but we'll see if that Cabot defense can maybe rattle him a little bit. Maybe force a mistake or two, and maybe come out with a win on the road. Just ought to be a great football game. I believe that's got all the state's attention tonight. You got the big boys from Hootens there, the Buzz on the call there tonight. Just ought to be a great football game there in Bryant.
If anybody's going to take down Bryant this year, Cabot is one of them, and then there's probably two Northwest Arkansas teams that might have a shot at taking down the mighty Hornets. So this should be a great game for everyone around the state, and we will keep you updated on that throughout the game. Thank you guys for joining us for tonight's pregame show. When we get back, it'll be time for our kickoff. Welcome back, Bears fans, for this great matchup we have tonight between the Sylvan Hills Bears and the El Dorado Wildcats. A matchup that is sure to have playoff implications later on in the year. So I'm really excited to be calling this game tonight. It's brought to you by this is on the PCSSD Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports. It's about time for our kickoff, but before that, we will be going live to our coin toss, I believe, as both teams are sending their captains out onto the field now for the coin toss.
Pretty good environment here tonight for this football game. The weather's kind of cooled off a bit. It's finally dark here at kickoff, just really starting to feel like those Friday night lights as you start to get to the end of the season here.
Absolutely. You honestly, this is our first kind of fall crisp in the air tonight. I was expecting it to be a little bit colder, as it was pretty cold earlier in the week. It decided to warm up, though, right here in time for kickoff. Either way, though, it's going to be a great matchup tonight. I'm sure all the fans in the stands are excited, and I'm sure all you at home are excited. And we are glad that you have tuned in to watch this ball game. And the captains are now taking the field to decide this coin toss.
And number 29, Patrick Alcindor.
Patrick Alcindor and Jonathan Goins are the captains for the Sylvan Hills Bears tonight. Goins really proved himself last week, and looks like he's going to have some more playing time again tonight.
call? Tails?
Yeah,
Tails.
I mean, he earned it last week, right?
Heads it is. You win the toss. What would you like to do? You want the ball? Okay. Which way do you kick from? Okay. You slide around this way. Okay. And we'll tap you on the shoulder.
The Bears win the toss and decide that they want to receive, which is probably a good decision on Chris Hill's part, as they showed last week. When they get the ball first, they really kind of got the job done on the road. So it should be the same. Hopefully we'll see the same outcome here at home.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you got an offense that can, take 7, 8, 9 minutes off the clock with a good drive. It is a pretty good idea. Go ahead and take the ball first. Jump on these Wildcats 7-0, and really get this game started out on the right foot.
And you have the student section over there lined up outside the Sylvan Hills Tunnel. El Dorado is already on the field on the sideline. And here come those Bears running out of the tunnel behind looks like a younger squad out there, some future Bears right there.
Some Bear Cubs running out there leading the way. I think we had a little pile up coming out of the tunnel there. Hope the little guys are all right.
Absolutely. Looking over here on the El Dorado sideline, it's a long drive, but they have a decent turnout for a crowd, even with that long drive.
Yeah, pretty good turnout for the fans. They brought the cheer team along as well. Just a great environment here for this football game, and I think the product on the field is going to match the environment tonight. Just a huge game for both sides, and just a really good matchup all around.
Absolutely. We've had football season we've had football season. I think this is week 8 now. But this really kind of just feels like the first real game of the year. Playoff implications that fall crisp in the air. It just really feels like football tonight. All right, football fans, the kickoff teams are taking the field, and we are about to get this kickoff underway.
Looks like Cleo Penn is going to go tonight. He's back deep to return this kick, along with Carlos Stevens, who missed last week as well.
It's good to see both those two players back. They've made an impact for this team all season long, so I'm excited to see what they can do coming back after a week off. I want to just say thank you guys for joining this broadcast tonight. To all the El Dorado fans and Sylvan Hills Bears fans that are tuned into this broadcast, we really appreciate it. And we are underway. Cleo Penn with the catch on the right sideline, gets all the way up to the 30, still moving his legs, finally gets shoved out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. That was a good return for Cleo. He really just he's pretty quick. His feet, man, when he gets those feet moving, they are just speedy. It's almost hard to see how fast he's moving.
Yeah, I mean, he's got all the speed in the world, just a really talented sophomore. Just been real fun to watch this season, and he's one of those players, if you're on the opposing team, every time he touches the football, you just kind of hold your breath and hope for the best, because he can turn something into, not much into a touchdown. Just really talented football player.
If you're Chris Hill, you want to see a repeat of last week's start of the game, so let's see what they can do. Tyner under center, takes a snap, hands it off up the middle. Hands it off up the middle to Dylan Harris, who manages to get about 5 yards on that play.
Yeah, it's a pretty good start, right? Anytime you can pick up 5 yards on first down, you'll take that all day. We saw the Bears have some success last week when they would run the twin receiver set on the same side as the tight end. That offensive line really had some success against Catholic early on out of that formation. We'll see if they go back to that some tonight.
Tyner under center. Takes the snap. Hands it off to Dylan Harris on the right side. Once again, gets all the way up to about the 50-yard line. Bangs into a defender. Carries him all the way out of bounds, and that's going to be a medicine shot first down for the Bears.
Just a huge hole opened up on that right side for Dylan Harris. Great job by this offensive line on that one. So he had all kinds of space. Didn't meet a defender until about 10, 12 yards downfield, and you know Dylan Harris is always going to finish a run. Just a great start to this drive for the Bears.
Those defensive linemen tried to shoot up field, and the right guard and the right tackle just shoved him down into the ground, just came down on him, and that just left a huge hole for Harris. Tyner takes the snap, hands it off to Harris up the right side. A bunch of room again, all the way up to the 40. Finally gets taken down at about the 46-yard line. And that's going to be another medicine shot first down for the Bears. Dylan Harris is just having his way right now. And it's a really big help from that offensive line who's getting a great push out there.
Bears going quick here.
You know, it's hard to run up tempo when you have all the motions that the Bears do. So they got to be very disciplined when they try to run hurry up offense. Tyner takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Dylan Harris, who falls forward, manages to get about 2 yards on that play, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, pretty nice play defensively there from the Wildcats, able to hit Harris in the backfield. Fortunately, he's able to bounce off a tackler and get what he could and turn that into, 2 yards. Real hard-earned 2 yards right there for Mr. Harris.
Tyner under center. Takes the snap, hands it off to Harris on the left side, breaks the tackle, and he finally gets hit and stood up after about a 3-yard gain right there. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. The Bears' first 3rd down of the night. Let's see what they decide to do.
Again, Dylan Harris got hit in the backfield and was able to break a tackle to turn it into a positive gain. Bears have got to do a better job up front getting that initial push. Give Mr. Harris a chance.
Tyner takes the snap, fakes the handoff, pitches it back to Joseph Thompson, who bobbles the pitch, manages to hold on to it, though, and gets taken down for about a 10-yard loss on that play. Ball's going to be at the 40-yard line for a 4th and 15.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for the Bears. You had a pretty good-looking drive going there, and then a near fumble makes it stall out, going to give you a 4th and long. Bears really fortunate they were able to retain possession there. Hopefully they can pin them deep on this punt.
They probably should have went to the other side of the field. They were going to the short side right there. When you try to run that big toss sweep right there just wasn't enough room for them, honestly. The punt is away, and it's going to hit at the 3-yard line and roll into the end zone for a touchback. And that's going to let this El Dorado Wildcats offense come out onto the field and start at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's a tough break there for the Bears. You ultimately only net about 19 yards on the punt with the touchback, bringing it back to the 20. So we'll see if this Bears defense can come out here and get a stop and get some momentum going.
Elliott with the snap, hands it off to the running back, number 1 on the left side. He breaks a couple tackles and gets a good gain out of it. That's going to be an 8-yard gain for the Wildcats right there, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 2.
Yeah, and that's too much on first down if you're the Bears. So important to win on first down on both sides of the football. So you say, well, what's a win? And I would say anything less than 4 yards on first down on defense is a win, and you give up 7 right there, sets up 2nd and short.
Elliott takes the snap, hands it off to Plumer up the middle, and he's going to be tackled short for about a 1-yard gain right there. Not much going on that play as the defense really stood tough right there, and now it's going to be a 3rd and short.
And we'll say no gain on play to bring up 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3 now. Plumer takes the snap, keeps it on the left side himself. He's going to get stood up, though. I don't think he got it.
Yeah, I think he's short. Going to be an important 4th down early on in this game.
Plummer kept it himself, but not only for about 2 yards though. So now that's gonna bring up a 4th and 1, and this is gonna be a huge opportunity for this Bears offense to try to get a big stop early. The Wildcats are gonna go for it. It looks like.
Might be a little pooch situation here. They got a receiver split way out wide here, about a yard off the sideline.
Plummer takes the snap, keeps it himself on the left side. He's hitting the backfield. But he manages to fall forward. I think enough for the first down, and yes, it is. That's going to be a medicine shot first down for the Wildcats.
Just quarterback power left right there. That's what we're going to see from this El Dorado offense. Plummer, he's more the runner, and then they'll bring in 10, John Elia here. He's more of the thrower.
Elia takes the snap, looking to pass on the right side. He's got an open receiver on the edge of the field, but he's going to have to scramble as he's getting pressured, and he gets hit hard. Gets hit hard right there, and finally gets taken down by a host of Bears defenders, and that's going to be a loss of yardage right there as he loses about 2 yards on the sack.
Looks like Carlos Stevens came up and laid the wood to him originally, and then a host of Bears defenders came in and cleaned it up. This great team defense all around there. Looks like he may have had a man in the flat and just elected not to throw it. Would have been a long throw, pretty dangerous throw. Smart play there from the quarterback to just tuck that one and get all he could.
No, if he would have made that throw, I think Alcindor was going to be there for the interception, so it's honestly smart for him to keep it. He does a quick jet sweep over to the right side, but as a flag comes out, probably going to be holding. He's still in bounds, finally gets shoved out of bounds after getting about 11 yards on that play. I thought they were going to blow the whistle after he got the about 5-yard gain right there, and he just managed to squeak down that sideline.
It is going to be holding. Yeah, the El Dorado already backing up on this one. Looks like they got the end. Just hooked him a little bit. Big break for the Bears there to put the Wildcats back in second and very long.
Second and 23 now for the Wildcats. If you're this Bears defense, all you're thinking is make sure you don't let them get a big chunk of yards right here. He throws it out to the right sideline, and he manages to stay in bounds. He finally gets turned all the way over, does a little front flip right there, and he gets about 8 yards on that play. Either way, or about 10 yards on that play. Now it's going to be about 3rd and 14. All right, if you're the Bears defense, you got to be happy. They're in a 3rd and long situation. You just got to keep everything in front of you right here and try to make a stop.
Yeah, you almost have to get off the field here in this 3rd and long. Like you said, keep everything in front, come up and make a tackle, then force a 4th down.
Elliott takes the snap, looking to pass left. It's a screen pass, bubble pass, and it's going to be all the way to the left side. Makes a couple men miss, and he's got to have enough for the first down. Gets all the way to the 40, to the 35. Finally gets taken down, and I think that's going to be a face mask call to top it off right there at the end and tack on another 15.
Yeah, pretty well-designed screen pass right there, the tunnel screen. Bears had a couple chances to make the tackle and just weren't able to. Man, looks like he had eyes in the back of the head there as he made Carlos Stevens miss and turns it into a very big gain for El Dorado. We'll see what the call is.
And it is a face mask on the Bears, and that's going to tack on another 15. That was, honestly, they were in decent position right there to make some tackles. You saw a couple bad angles there as he was running towards the sideline. A couple bad angles from a few defenders on that play, but after you have a couple missed tackles like that, it's just not going to work out for you. Elliott takes the snap, hands it off to Plummer up the middle. Plummer takes it on the left side, and he's going to have some room. Finally gets taken down at about the 5-yard line. He's going to have that's going to be a huge gain for them right there, and that's going to be a medicine shot first down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, even with the bad snap, the Wildcats were able to get the handoff completed, and, man, Plummer, he's got some speed, and he hit that hole hard, and real nice game for the Wildcats.
Elliott takes the snap, hands it off to Plummer on the left side, who's going to be in for a touchdown. Touchdown Wildcats, but a flag came out from the white hat behind the line of scrimmage, and that's usually holding. Holding on the Wildcats, and that's going to push them back 15 yards and turn this into a first and goal when they have about 20 yards to go until they hit pay dirt. My mistake. They're going to have about 9 yards or 14 yards to go.
Yeah, Bears catch a break there. You gotta make the Wildcats pay.
Elliott takes the snap. Quick toss out to Plummer on the right side. He gets taken down after about a 5-yard gain right there.
Yeah, interesting little play right there. They catch it in just a little shovel pass, trying to get some width there, and Plummer cuts it back in for a minimal gain. Bears do a nice job rallying up to that one.
If you're this Bears defense so far tonight, it doesn't really look like they have trust in their quarterback to throw the ball deep down the field. So you really need to just keep everything in front of you, as they really aren't trying to stretch the field. He throws it over the middle, and that was good coverage right there by Alcindor. If he would have been a little bit quicker, I think he might have had his hands on that ball.
Yeah, very nice coverage there. That's a tight window that quarterback had to fit that ball into, and it sails on him a bit. Going to bring up a very important third down for this Bears defense. Really got to bow your neck here and get off this football, get off the field, see if you can't force a field goal attempt.
3rd and goal, ball on the 8. If I was going to guess, I think they're going to hand it off to number 1 Plummer, who's really just kind of been doing it all for him so far on this drive. As this is a huge play for the Bears to start this game, as there's only 4 minutes left to go in this first quarter. Elliott takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Plummer, and he throws it out to the left side, and he could not hit his wide receiver, who had a chance to catch it. I think a defender would have stopped him right there, though. Either way, that is a good stop by the Bears, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 8, and the Wildcats are sending out the field goal unit.
Yeah, you're right. Even with the completed catch there, probably goes nowhere. Bears had that one very well defended. Let's see if we can't force a field goal miss here and keep this score 0-0 and get the ball back.
Snap is good. The ball is up. And it hits the post and bounces off, and that field goal is going to be no good. What a break for the Bears. They just bend don't break. We say it all the time, and that's exactly what they did, and it paid off for them right there as it hits the upright, and it is no good.
So far, the MVP for the Bears is the goal post. Just great stand right there by the defense to force the field goal attempt, and you never know how that's going to go on the high school level. Bears are going to get the ball back here with a little bit of momentum, and hopefully they can turn it into some points.
Ball's at the 20-yard line. Tyner's about to get under center. Tyner under center. Takes the snap. Keeps it himself on the right side, and he's going to be hit hard by 2 Wildcat defenders. He really just had nowhere to go right there.
Yeah, again, you got a ball carrier getting hit in the backfield. Offensive line just got to do a better job on the snap of getting their blocks and getting their assignments.
I want to thank you guys for joining this broadcast. If you're enjoying it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, and maybe hit that subscribe button as well. We'd really appreciate it, as well as doing that with all of our other PCSSD sports networks. Tyner takes the snap, hands it off, or fakes the handoff up the middle, keeps it himself. He's running out to the left side. And he just has nowhere to go as he gets hit right there in the backfield, manages to get back up to the line of scrimmage.
Another nice play from the Wildcat defense. It's going to put the Bears in a situation that, they're not really built to get. 3rd and 12. We'll see what they come up with here. I'd like to see maybe Cleo Penn get a touch or maybe a pass.
After your defense makes a good stand, they get a little lucky with a missed field goal. You really want to try to get this first down. Hunter takes the snap, fakes the handoff, pitches out to Cleo Penn on the right side. Penn cuts it up, but he gets tripped up in the backfield. That was just a good job. By that Wildcat defense to get in the backfield and trip up Cleo Penn, who we know when he gets going, it's hard to stop him.
Yeah, again, another missed block there, and allows the Wildcats to get into the backfield and make the play on Penn before he can really get going, and the Bears are going to have to punt here on 4th and 12.
Fourth and 12, the snap is back, and the punt is away. It's a decent punt. It's going to be fair caught right at the 50-yard line for the Wildcats. That was a decent punt. Unfortunately, the Wildcats are going to have really good field position here to try and punch it in. 1:41 left to go in this first quarter. It's just kind of been flying by. Both teams are really just pounding the rock, and it's letting this clock tick down pretty quickly.
Yeah, if you're the Bears defense, Wildcats, didn't show you anything you can't stop last time out, right? You had them backed up 3rd and long, and you let the screen get by you. But other than that, it was pretty good defensive series. See if they can repeat it here.
Plummer takes a snap, passes it out to the left side, gets shoved out of bounds after about a 5-yard gain right there. Five-yard gain right there. Now that's going to bring up a 2nd and 5. That was an interesting play as Plummer seems to be like their do-it-all guy. He faked a run right there and threw a quick pass out to the left side.
Yeah, a little swing pass, keep the defense honest just so you can't key on him being a run play every time.
Elliott takes the snap, hands it off to Plummer up the middle. Plummer's just moving those legs. He is a tough runner, and he gets all the way up to about the 39-yard line for a Medicine Shop first down for the Wildcats. First down for the Wildcats. This Bears defense hasn't shown an answer for Plummer yet. Let's see if they can't figure something out. Elliott takes the snap, fakes a handoff to Plummer, looking to pass on the right side. Nowhere to go, though, and he's under pressure hard right there. Carlos Stevens was all up in Elliott's face right there. It forces a bad throw. And that was just great pressure from Carlos Stevens.
Yeah, Stevens was lined up on the line of scrimmage there, and as soon as Ely broke the pocket, he was able to get away from his blocker there and come get pressure in his face and force the incompletion. Ely really lucky to get the ball out on that one.
No gain on that play as a host of Bears are going to be right there to stop Plummer. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 now.
Yeah, they ran that little outside toss play again. Bears were ready for it that time. Going to force an important 3rd and long again.
And with 6 minutes left on the clock, the Wildcats are just going to let it run down 2-1. That's going to be the end of our first quarter. We will be back with more Bears football on the PCSSD Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports.
Thank you for choosing your local hometown pharmacy. I'm Chrissy Barr, owner and pharmacist of the Medicine Shop of North Little Rock, where you're not just a number, you're part of the family, even your pets. Here at the Medicine Shop of North Little Rock, we offer several services to assist you with your daily prescription needs. We offer Med Sync for easy refills, Dispill packaging for those taking multiple meds and for kids taking meds at school, And of course, all of this with no long lines or wait times. You can have your prescription filled while you wait. Come see us at the Medicine Shop of North Little Rock, located at 3836 John F. Cave Boulevard, or call us at 758-1010 to speak with a pharmacist about your personalized needs.
We are back, football fans, for the second quarter of play on the PCSSD Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports. And we have Plummer back at quarterback to catch the snap, takes the snap, hands it off to the running back up the left side. He's got all sorts of room, and he's going to break a couple tackles, and he gets away from more defenders all the way up to about the 10-yard line before he falls down. And that is just a huge game for the Wildcats and a dagger for the Bears, who really just played really well on that set of downs. Unfortunately, that's going to be a Medicine Shop first down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, the Bears only had 3 down linemen on that one. And the outside backers really got to do a better job of forcing that back inside. Unfortunately, running back breaks contain and turns it into a big gain for the Wildcats.
They were definitely expecting pass on that play. Plummer takes the snap, keeps himself on the left side, staying behind a blocker, really patient running, and he's into the end zone for a Wildcat touchdown. That touchdown is going to be brought to you by Dio Vanucci with Cornerstone Home Lending. That was some patient running by Plummer. He is definitely the star of their offense, and he is really just getting after it tonight.
Yeah, just very well blocked right there by the Wildcats. And you said it, just a nice patient run, allowed his blocks to develop, kind of directing traffic, and really walks into the end zone on that one.
Snap is bad for the point after attempt. And he tries to throw it for a 2-point conversion. He picked the holder picked it up, tried to toss it into the end zone for a 2-point conversion, throws it over the intended receiver though, and so that is going to be an incomplete pass, no good for the 2-point conversion. And there's 11 minutes and 24 seconds left on the clock, and the Wildcats lead 6-0 here in the second quarter.
Yeah, fire. You know, just the fumbled snap. Holder tries to make a play, had his man open there and almost completed that pass, but that failed point after could loom large, as we've seen several one-point games here on this football field this season. We'll see if the Bears can hopefully take advantage of that.
That was just a good drive by the Wildcats right there. The Bears really didn't have an answer for Plummer, so if they want to win this ball game, they're going to have to figure that out. Either way, both kickoff units are on the field now, as Cleo Penn is back to Cleo Penn and Bryce and Carlos Stevens are back to receive. The kick is away, and it falls to Cleo Penn on the right side, who tries to cut it back. And he's not going to be able to break any tackles, though, as he's going to be taken down short of the 20-yard line at the 15, and that is where this Bears offense is going to start the ball game.
Yeah, Penn got to do a better job of just getting north and south there and picking up what you can. Tries to turn it into a big play and ends up losing a couple yards.
15-yard line.
See if this Bears offense can't pick them up.
All right, if you're Chris Hill, you really need a good drive out of your offense, as you haven't seen it. You haven't seen it yet. You really need to get them moving. Hands it off to Dylan Harris up the middle. Harris is just turning those legs. He's really doing all he can to try to get this offense moving, and he managed to get a good 4 yards out of that play. It was tough running, as he was hit right at the line of scrimmage and then just kept getting hit all the way up for a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, tough running right there. Even pick up those 2 yards. Just this Wildcat defensive line is really making themselves known here early in this football game.
It's really causing problems. It's causing problems for the running attack for the Bears tonight. Tyner under center. Takes the snap. Pitches it back to Joseph Thompson on the left side, who's got all sorts of room, cuts it up, and he turned on the Jets right there for a really big gain right there. Gets all the way up to the 40-yard line for a Medicine Shop first down for the Bears.
Yeah, very well blocked there from the Bears on the left side. Thompson had all kind of room, and you saw the speed, right? When he catches the football clean, he can really be explosive with it. Does a very nice run for the Bears to set them up for a 1st and 10.
You know, Thompson, he's not too shifty, but when you get him going north and south, he just turns on those jets and really can burn you. Tyner takes the snap, hands it off to Harris, who's hitting the backfield, has nowhere to go on that play. They were just expecting run all the way, and I don't know how they got back there so freely. Either way, that's going to be a loss of 3 right there, and now it's going to be 2nd and 13 for the Bears.
Yeah, again, this El Dorado defensive line's really kind of got their ears pinned back, and they're making some plays early in this football game.
No, this defensive line is just shooting upfield with very little resistance. The Bears really got to figure out something to do. Tyner takes a snap, fakes a pitch to Cleo Penn, passes it out to the left side, and it's going to be incomplete to Scales, my mistake. Scales flew right over Scales' head. He had no chance of catching that ball. That's unfortunate, as I think he would have had some good space to work with. Either way, it's going to be 3rd and 13 now.
I think they're going to get El Dorado for offsides here, a neutral zone infraction. Yeah, if you're the Bears, I mean, the Wildcats have 6 men on the defensive line of scrimmage. Got to do something down the field to, at least pose some sort of threat to this defense. Right now, they're crowding the line of scrimmage hard, just really geared up against the run. Got to show them a different look.
You know, that was a lucky break right there to at least get 5 yards. Tyner takes the snap, and he pitches it back to Cleo Penn, who has nowhere to go. If you're this Bears offense, I mean, that was a good play by the Wildcats defense right there, but if you're this Bears offense, you got to realize you don't have enough men on the offensive line to block the amount of men that they are sending. You've got to change something up. They, like you said, they have 6 men on the line of scrimmage, and there's only 5 offensive linemen. You can't do there's nothing that you can do as an offense to try to run the ball. You've got to figure out a way to back them off.
Yeah, Ford there for the Wildcats just saw motion his side and shot out like a cannon.
The punt is away. Burns back to catch it for the Wildcats, and he fair catches it at the 35-yard line, and that's where the Wildcats will begin their drive.
Looks like he'll set up shop, posting 10 at their own 35-yard line.
This has turned out to be a good ball game, as there's 8:53 left to go in this second quarter. Still a tight ball game. The Wildcats are leading 6-0. Let's see what their offense has to show, as they had a good showing on their last drive, with Plummer really just taking the wheel.
Yeah, had some huge holes to run in. Bears got to do a better job playing assignment football. Make sure you're in your gap. You got to get off some blocks and make a play.
Now that's going to be a false start on the Wildcats, and that's going to push them back 5 yards. And now it's going to be 1st and 15. So already, if you're Coach Chris Hill for the Bears, you got them backed up, 1st and 15. You've got to take advantage of a costly penalty for the Wildcats. Plummer takes the snap, keeps it himself on the left side, and he manages to get around on the edge. Finally gets shoved out of bounds after about a 13-yard gain, and now it's going to be 2nd and 3.
Yeah, it looked like the Bears were going to be able to bring him down for a loss there, but just the speed of Plummer, he's able to get around the defense and really turn nothing into a very nice gain, set them up on 2nd and short. Bears got to do a better job of containing on the outside, turning him back in, and making him fight through the meatier defense rather than just letting him get up the sideline.
Ely takes the snap, hands it off to Plummer up the middle. Plummer still breaking tackles, gets all the way up to about the 46-yard line, and that's going to be a medicine shot first down for the Wildcats. Well, I really appreciate you guys tuning into this broadcast. If you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up and subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. Also, make sure to tune in for our Akel's Carpet One halftime show, where we will be recapping the first half of this ball game, as well as catching you up on our scores around the state for our PCSSD matchups. Ely takes the snap, hands it off up the middle of the running back. Nowhere to go, though, as Keyshawn Jones and Jaden Foster were there to make the tackle for and they make a tackle for loss as he loses 1 yard on that play.
Yeah, great job right there by Keyshawn Jones and Jaden Foster. We've seen that from those two all year long. Just a real force on that defensive line for the Bears. They're able to get off their blocks and make a negative play for this defense. See if they can string a couple good plays together here and get off the field.
Ely back to take the snap. Takes the snap, fakes it. Oh, he hands it off, but the ball's on the ground. He manages to fall right on top of it, though. That was a lucky break for the Wildcats as that ball fell right in front of a host of Bears defenders right there. Nobody was able to fall on it, though. The Wildcats retained possession, and now that's going to bring them third and 10 for the Wildcats.
Man, that's kind of how it's going for the Bears all season, right? Just a unlucky break. That ball bounces right back to the running back. He's able to fall on it. But it is going to bring up third and long. Good chance for the Bears here.
It's going to be Plummer in the backfield to take the snap. He hands it off to the right side, and of course, number 3 is going to have all sorts of room. He gets all the way up to about the 27-yard line, and that's going to be a medicine shot first down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, again, is able to just get to the edge and has a big hole to cut up inside there, and you see the speed out of number 3, DeAndre Burns, as he cuts it upfield and gets a nice gain.
Plummer takes the snap on the left side, keeps it himself. He's running, and he gets taken down by Dylan Harris, and that is exactly what you want to see if you're this Bears defensive coordinator. Dylan Harris needs to take control of this defense because the Wildcats are really just doing whatever they want. When they stretch the field and try to get outside, nobody's able to stop them, and that's how they've gotten most of their first downs tonight.
Yeah, I think the Bears need Dylan Harris really on both sides of the ball, but I think here tonight you're going to need him to play on defense more. You got to have something to match up with the speed that the Wildcats have in the backfield.
2nd and 12, ball at the 30-yard line. Ely takes the snap, and he bobbles it. It's on the ground. Plummer picks it up, and he's going to be taken down for a decent-sized loss right there, and that's going to be a great job by that Bears defense to notice that the snap was bobbled. They got back there in time to stop Plummer from getting anything going, and now it's going to be 3rd and 16.
Yeah, again, ball just bounces right up to the running back. But the Bears are able to get him down and force a 3rd and long here.
Ely takes the snap, looking to pass it deep. Chunks it over the middle to a wide-open receiver who catches it. It's Plummer. Plummer catches it at the 10-yard line and falls down at about the 5. And that's going to be a medicine shot first down for the Wildcats. Plummer's slow to get up. Hopefully there's nothing too bad going on over there. He gets up.
Yeah, Josiah Rainey laid a pretty nice hit on him on that one. But, yeah, if you're the Bears, it's just tough. You got a man running wide open down the seam. We are going to have an injury timeout for Plummer to get off the field. Hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him on that one.
He's walking a little slow. Doesn't look like he's limping or anything. He's just walking slow. Might have the wind knocked out of him. Hopefully it's not a concussion. As we all know, concussions are no joke.
Yeah, he's waving off medical attention. Hopefully he'll be all right and be able to get back into this football game for the Wildcats. You don't want to see anybody get injured out here, that's for sure.
Ely takes the snap, hands it off up the middle. Hands it off up to the middle of the running back who gets a good 6-yard run right into the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown Wildcats, and that touchdown is brought to you by Dio Vanucci with Cornerstone Home Lending.
likely see the Wildcats go for 2 here to try to make up for that missed PAT last time out. And that is what they're going to do. Some confusion for the Wildcats here.
Ely takes the snap, does a quick jet sweep, and he's going to be into the end zone for a 2-point conversion. That was a good play drawn up by the Wildcat coaches right there, as it works to perfection. And now that's going to make the score 14-0 Wildcats with 5 minutes and 12 seconds left to go on the clock.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're, it looks like we're going to get an illegal procedure on this one.
Illegal procedure on that play. And now the Wildcats are going to have to send their offense back out there on the field.
Man, late call. I don't think either team saw the flag come out. Now it looks like the Wildcats will send the kicking unit out to attempt a PAT.
And they do. They're sending the kicking unit out as they've changed their mind. They previously converted that 2-point conversion, called back for a penalty, and now it's time for a PAT for the Wildcats. Snap is good, hold is good. The kick is up, and the point after attempt is good, and that's going to make the score 13-0 Wildcats with 5 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in this second quarter.
All right, Bears get a little bit of a break on that one. Wildcats still off schedule a bit. If you can get 2 touchdowns, 2 PATs, you'll have the lead by a point. And, you know, I think we've seen, 3 one-point games right here on this field, so those can be important. We'll see if the Bears can take advantage of it. Got to put together a drive here, get some points on the board before halftime. You know, the Bears were moving the ball pretty well on their first drive, but since then just hadn't had much going for them offensively. 5 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the half. There's plenty of time for the Bears to get something going, to get a score before half. But you'd like to see a little, you know, maybe something more side to side and vertically to stretch this defense as they're kind of teeing off on the inside run at the moment. Got to give them something else to think about.
The kick is away, and it's caught by Cleo Penn. He's going to take it on the right side of the field, and there's nothing going for him as he hits all the way up to the 20-yard line, gets hit, and finally gets taken down at about the 25. It's going to be decent field position for the Bears to start this offensive drive. And if you're Coach Chris Hill, you really want to see something happen. I haven't really seen too many first downs happen in this whole entire first half. I think I've seen maybe 3. So they really need to get something going. Tyner takes a snap, hands it off to Harris up the middle, and he's going to have. He manages to get about 5 yards on that play. Decent gain on that play, but it's you can't expect that to happen when they have the whole entire defense basically on the line right there. Tyner takes a snap, hands it off to Harris up the middle again, who gets about 3 yards on that play, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 1. My mistake. They're going to go ahead and call that a first down, and that's going to be a medicine shot first down for the Bears.
Bears first down with a spot at their own 38.
4 minutes and, 8 seconds here to go in the game. Still plenty of time for the Bears.
You know, if I'm Coach Chris Hill, I don't think I'd mind going into halftime and just getting a touchdown to end the half. As he handed off to Harris up the middle, who gets about a 1 yard gain on that. Gets about a 2 yard gain on that play, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 8. Tyner takes the snap, pitches it back to Joseph Thompson on the left side. Thompson is going to try to make a couple men miss, and he does, and he cuts it upfield. And it looks like he's going to have enough for a first down. See where they spot it.
That is going to be another first down for the Bears.
And that's going to be a medicine shot first down for the Bears. They are at the 48-yard line now. Probably the closest they've been to scoring all night.
Yeah, outside of that first drive, this has been their best looking offensive possession. Got to keep it going here if you're the Bears.
Tyner takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Harris, who Harris is just refusing to go down right now. And they finally blow the whistle after he gets about 2 yards on that play. Tyner takes the snap, looking to pass on the left side. He has an open receiver, but he overthrows his man as Cleo Penn was wide open at the 30-yard line. Unfortunately, they could not connect.
Yeah, Cleo Penn quit running on that one and saw that ball a little too late to make the adjustment. It's going to sail over his head. Then Tyner took a big hit on that one, got up a little slow. Looks like he is all right. Got a slight limp out there, but looks like he's going to stay in the ball game.
And we've got a timeout.
It's going to be a Sylvan Hills timeout as they want to talk it over, and because they are up against a 3rd and 8 now at about the 50-yard line. 2 minutes and 17 seconds left to go in this ball game. I want to thank all the watchers out there. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you wouldn't mind giving our broadcast a thumbs up and maybe hitting that subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it, as well as tuning into our other PCSSD school networks and doing the same for them.
Yeah, and if you're Chris Hill and the Bears coming out for this 3rd and 8, you've got to think about picking up something positive to give yourself a chance on 4th down. You're likely in 4-down territory. But if you come out, you get negative yards or no yards here on 3rd down, likely have to punt the ball away. So it's important you come out here and get something positive on 3rd down.
If you can try to at least get close to that first down marker, maybe make it 4th and short. Maybe then just go for the home run ball right after that. Try to hit somebody going across the middle. You might surprise them. All right, the offense and defense back out on the field. Tyner takes a snap, looking to pass on the left side, passes it to Cleo Penn, and it bounces off a defender. Defender couldn't catch it, and it falls out of bounds. And now that's going to bring up 4th and 8 now for the Bears.
A pretty nice play right there by that safety. He does have the club on his right hand. That's probably fortunate for the Bears. That might have been intercepted had he had two healthy hands out there. Just got to put a little more air under that football and give Penn a chance. The Bears are going to go for it.
Tyner takes a snap, pitches it back to Cleo Penn, who bobbles the pitch and falls on it. It didn't really matter who fell on it right there, as it's going to be a turnover on downs, as they were fighting for it at the bottom of that pile. Either way, first down Wildcats at about the 47-yard line, and they're going to have great field goal position great field position to try to get some more points on the board right here before halftime.
Yeah, that pitch was a little low from Tyner, but still one that Cleo Penn, he's got to catch that one. Had some room had he been able to catch it clean, but nonetheless, this Bears defense is going to have to come up with a stop here before halftime. As the Wildcats will get the ball to start the third quarter. So this is an important drive all of a sudden for the Sylvan Hills Bears defense.
Ely takes the snap, looking to pass downfield. Passes over the middle to an open receiver, but it falls incomplete as the pass was a little short, and the wide receiver couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, second time they've had a man open down the seam.
This really just doesn't look like the same Bears defense we've seen the past 2 weeks. They were really on the ball the past 2 weeks. They seem to be moving a little confused. A lot of open wide receivers and missed assignments. See if they can't talk it over at halftime, but maybe get it put together a little bit better. Hands it off up the middle to the running back, who has all sorts of room. Gets all the way up to about the 35-yard line. 35-yard line, that's going to be a medicine shot first down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, huge hole right there on second down. Just again, another speedy running back for the Wildcats. Picks up a nice gain. Bears got to find an answer. Got to get a stop here before half.
Ely takes the snap, does a quick jet sweep, pitches it forward. And the wide receiver is going to take it out of bounds after getting a 5-yard gain right there. And that's going to stop the clock with 1:35 left to go. 2 flags come out. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the Bears. It's going to be some type of unsportsmanlike conduct. Not sure on who, though. I'm thinking it might be unsportsmanlike conduct on the Wildcats, as there was a discussion after the play was over. Both players' hands on the chest. The Wildcat player might have threw a little extra swipe there after they separated themselves.
Yeah, we'll see. The only question here is if they're going to be offsetting or not. Definitely going to get an unsportsmanlike call. You see offsetting a lot in these situations, but we'll see what they come up with here.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Wildcats. And that is going to push them back.
Looks like the penalty was a dead ball versus a foul against the Wildcats. That'll cost them a Hamilton and a Lincoln from the end of the play.
Head coach Stephen Jones for the Wildcats gets an explanation and seems satisfied with what he heard. Going to bring up second and long for El Dorado.
Let's see where the ball is going to be placed. The ball is going to be placed all the way up at the 44-yard line. That is a huge mistake if you're the Wildcats right there, as you were about to get a first down, and now that pushes you back into a pretty tough position here, as you only have 1:35 left on the clock.
I think it should be a first down. That was a dead ball penalty after the play, but maybe we got the... So it will remain second down.
Ely takes the snap, looking to pass, throws it over the middle, and it's going to be incomplete. That was good coverage right there by Colin Billings. Colin Billings was managed to jump up there right at the right time and knock it out of the wide receiver's hands. That's probably one of the better shows of coverage we've seen from the Bears all night.
Yeah, nice job right there by Colin Billings, breaking on that football while it was in the air and coming up and making a play, separating the receiver from the football. Nice play right there out of number 3, Colin Billings. 3rd and long. Got to watch out for a screen. Quarterback draw here.
Ely takes the snap, looks to pass over the middle, and it's going to be great coverage once again by Colin Billings, who breaks up the pass just at the perfect moment. He goes in and shoves his hands all over the wide receiver's hands, and the ball falls to the ground.
2 in a row for Mr. Billings. Just another great play. Going to force the Wildcats into a 4th and 18. Offense is still on the field.
And what I've noticed is I don't think I've seen – have you seen Plummer on the field since he walked off?
No, he has not come back into the game yet.
That is a obvious hole for the Wildcats, as he was just really like their life force on offense. And I see him now. He's sitting on the bench. Hopefully he's okay. And we're going to have a Wildcat timeout with 1:19 left to go in this first half. They want to talk it over and decide what they want to do, as they are up against a 4th and 18.
Yeah, we don't usually see the Bears send back a return man on punt returns, but with 1:19 left and the Wildcats with a chance to back you up pretty deep here, we'll see if they send out a return man. Maybe make a big play happen, or at least save yourself some field position.
Which I didn't see where the play clock was, but that easily could have just been the Wildcats trying to drain as much clock off as they could. Well, my mistake. It was an incomplete pass, so the clock was not running. Maybe the Wildcats might try to go for it here. Maybe they have a lot of faith in their defense that they can get a stop if the Bears try to get a little wild and try to get to the end zone.
Yeah, Coach had the timeout to burn. Maybe just see if he could pick up 5 cheap ones, but thinks wiser the decision, and it looks like they'll send the punting unit out here, but still have yet to break their huddle.
All right, the Wildcats do decide to send their punting unit out onto the field, it looks like.
Bears in a punt save situation.
The ball falls on the ground, and it's not going to be picked up. The ball is free. Carlos Stevens picks it up all the way at the 20, the 15, the 10, 5, touchdown Bears. What a wild play. The punter could not hold on to the ball, gets smacked by a Bears defender, and Carlos Stevens picks it up and takes it all the way to the end zone. Wow, what a play. Great job, Carlos Stevens, picking that ball up, keeping those feet moving. That touchdown's going to be brought to you by Dio Vanucci with Cornerstone Home Lending.
Yeah, the punter was really fortunate to even get off some sort of punt there. Really incredible that he did. That's one that he's got to fall on. Just take the turnover on downs, give your defense a shot. But it otherwise turns into a huge play for the Bears. Carlos Stevens on the scoop and score. It's a huge play for the Bears here before half.
Rivera on to attempt this point after attempt.
Yeah, the Bears were a man short on that one.
They're forced to call a timeout as a Bear was a little late getting out onto the field right there. They only have 1 timeout remaining, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to frustrate Coach Chris Hill there. You gotta be paying attention. Got to make sure you have the right personnel on the field for special teams. Thought about running a guy out late there. Smart there by Chris Hill to go ahead and burn the timeout. Make sure you get the right personnel on the field. El Dorado's already missed one of these PATs tonight. It's important that the Bears get this one up and through the uprights.
With a minute 9 left to go, minute 9 seconds left to go in this first half, you got to be happy at least getting some points on the board right there. If you're Chris Hill, maybe swinging the momentum your way. You're going to be kicking the ball off to start the second half, but this is definitely getting some momentum on your side.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge play for the Bears. Just had no momentum, just really had kind of been getting dominated all half, and all of a sudden, a bad snap on the punt turns this game kind of upside down. The Bears were right back in it.
The point after attempt is up, and it is blocked. It is blocked by a Wildcat player right there. That was just he got a good jump on the snap, got around the blockers, and he got in front of that ball. That was honestly a good show of athleticism from the Wildcats.
Yeah, bad snap here. Tyner has to reach up for it, and that was just enough to throw the timing off to allow him to get around the edge and block that kick.
That's going to leave the score at 13-16 Wildcats. Minute 9 left to go in this first half. As both teams seem to be having some PAT troubles tonight.
Yeah, if you're that wingback on the field goal team, you got to make sure you don't ever shorten that edge. Got to make sure they go around you the full length, and number 5 there for the Wildcats took a good angle off the edge and was able to get there. Just don't see that man off the edge block them very often.
42, Brian Gonzalez on to kick the ball off here. His first time kicking it off all night. The ball is away. It's going to be a good kick by him, but it's going to go out of bounds, unfortunately. Rolls out of bounds, and now the Wildcats will get the ball about the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that's the last thing you needed right there on the kickoff. Give them good starting field position with a minute 9 left in this half.
Head coach Stephen Jones for the Wildcats, he's been playing fairly aggressive tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out here and really tries to get a score here.
Looks like he's going to make him kick it again, wants to give his kick return a chance.
Which I've seen this pay off for other teams before. Let's see if it pays off here for Coach Stephen Jones. The wind is blowing to the left for Gonzalez right there, and that's exactly where the ball went out of bounds. So the wind definitely didn't help it right there. So if you're Gonzalez, you might want to aim a little bit to the right. The kick is away. It's going to hit the ground early. Roll back into a return man's hands. He's going to have some room on the left side. He gets all the way up to about the 50-yard line. And so that pays off for Coach Stephen Jones, who elects to have them re-kick it, and they get better field position than what they were going to have. And now they're going to start their drive at about the 50-yard line.
Yeah, nice job by the kicker Gonzalez getting over and forcing him out of bounds. That likely saved a touchdown. Just again, the Bears have got to do a better job containing these speedy backs and return men for the Wildcats and forcing them back inside. They've been getting to the edge all night long and have really been making them pay with their speed.
Really, DeAndre Burns and Plummer are really just burning this Bears defense. Both those guys really have a lot of speed, and they're showing it.
Plummer is back in the game. That's good to see for the Wildcats.
Ely takes the snap, looking to pass. It's going to be a screen pass, but it's going to be knocked down by Kanye Williams. That was good job, Kanye Williams, by getting up in the air and getting those big paws up to knock that ball down.
Yeah, if you're not going to get home to the quarterback as a defensive lineman, you got to get your hands up, try and deflect the pass, and Kanye Williams did just that on that play, and they really had a very nice screen set up. That was a nice play by Kanye, saved his defense quite a bit of yardage on that one.
Ely takes the snap, fakes a pass, hands it off up the middle to Plummer. Plummer's carrying some defenders, gets all the way up to the 40-yard line. And that's going to be a Medicine Shop first down for the Wildcats, I believe. It is. It is a Medicine Shop first down for the Wildcats. Ball at the 40-yard line, and they're going to run a hurry-up offense here. Ely takes the snap, pitches it to the right side to Plummer. Plummer gets taken down. Gets taken down by Jaden Foster right there for a minimal gain of only 1 yard. And now it's going to be second and 9.
35 seconds on the clock. Clock is running. Wildcats do have 2 timeouts. They don't elect to use one there.
Ely takes the snap, looking to pass on the right side, passes it over. The receiver makes a man miss, and he gets taken down by a shoelace right there by Josiah Rainey. Josiah Rainey with a good open field tackle to honestly stop a touchdown. And now the ball's going to be at about the 25-yard line for this after that medicine shot first down. And the Wildcats head coach Stephen Jones elects to take a timeout. "20 seconds left in this first half. The Wildcats are in a good position to get some points on the board here, right here going into halftime. I want to thank you guys for joining our broadcast tonight. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. If you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up and subscribe button, we'd really appreciate it. It really helps us out. And also join us for our Ankles Carpet One halftime show, where we will be recapping the first half of this ball game, as well as going over the scores of our PCSSD matchups around the state and our Natural State Sport game to watch around the state. As we said earlier, this is just a huge game for both teams. Playoff implications. You know, the El Dorado is in fifth place in the 6A East. This is, and you know, the top 6 teams get into the playoffs, and Sylvan Hills is 6th in the 6A East. So this is just this could have a lot of playoff implications leading into the playoffs. Ely takes the snap, passes it to the left side, and it's intercepted by Patrick Alcindor, and that's going to be a touchback for the Bears. Wow, what a great catch by Patrick Alcindor. That is just a great job to keep the Wildcats off the board right there, as they were probably going to be able to get into to enough yardage to get a field goal right there. Keeps them off the board. Wow, that was just a great interception by Patrick Alcindor. What hands.
Yeah, great job right there by Alcindor. Just step for step with the wide receiver and gets his head turned around and makes a play on the football. Just great job right there from Alcindor. See how aggressive the Bears will be here on offense. Likely just see them take a knee or a safe run up the middle. Looks like they are going to take a knee and take this game into half.
Tyner went ahead and took the knee as there's 10 seconds left on the clock, taken down. 2-1. That's going to be the end of our first half. Please join us after the break for our Ankles Carpet One halftime show.
It is the grand opening sale at Ankles Carpet One.
Get up to 50% off store-wide with payments as low as $40 per room per month. Plus, get your sales tax paid.
We make it beautiful.
For less.
It is the grand opening sale at Ankles Carpet One.
Get up to 50% off store-wide with payments as low as $40 per room per month. Plus, get your sales tax paid.
We make it beautiful.
For less. They just announced it. It's like 7 through 12.
Welcome back, football fans, to our Ackles Carpet One halftime show. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and go over our first half of play between the Sylvan Hills Bears and the El Dorado Wildcats. Early on, the Bears really couldn't get anything going on offense. They had a few first downs. Dylan Harris was getting things going a little bit. He had 50 yards in that first half. But other than Dylan Harris, it really wasn't working out for anyone else.
Yeah, Harris had a couple big runs on that opening drive, and then a couple of bobbles, a couple negative plays for the Bears, and that drive stalls out. And from that point on, it was really all El Dorado as they put together 2 scoring drives, and really just this Bears defense didn't look like they had too much of an answer for the Wildcats.
Yeah, no, it's this Bears defense. They were able to stop them on first and second down for the most part, it seemed like. But then they just handed off to their running back, Plummer, who would just find a way to get that first down. They were doing a really good job of getting the first down, converting their thirds and longs. The Wildcat offense was. They've got some speedy backs, and they're really showing it. It's really putting the hurt on the Bears defense.
Yeah, the Bears would be scoreless in this game if it wasn't for a bad snap on a punt with a minute to go in the half. And the punter from the Wildcats made a mistake. Instead of falling on the football, he tries to punt it away, and the Bears are able to scoop it up, and Carlos Stevens goes about 40 yards for a touchdown. That was really, the only positive thing that came out of that first half from the Bears. And it was a big touchdown for them because the Wildcats are going to come out and get this ball to start the third quarter, and they could have potentially be looking at a 2-score deficit and the Wildcats getting the ball, but instead, they're only down by the touchdown. So that just was a huge play there towards the end of that half to get them back into this football game.
A minute left in the first half. They scoop and score it after that bobbled snap on the punt, and then El Dorado takes a kickoff all the way up to the 50-yard line where they look like they might have a chance to score. They get it all the way up to the 25. They tried to throw a pass there in the corner, and Patrick Alcindor for the Bears defense jumps up and makes a great interception to really just close out the half. So and keep the Wildcats from extending their lead, because right now they were only up by 7. So there's only it's still a 1-score game. The Wildcats are going to be receiving the ball to start this second half. So we're still in for a good game tonight. Both teams are fighting hard. I think both teams realize what's at stake here. A good, maybe a possible spot at the playoffs. Hopefully the Bears coaching staff will get in there and work some of the kinks out of this offense, and maybe this offense can start rolling.
Yeah, Bears have got to do a better job defensively containing the ball carrier and forcing him back inside. They've really let the speed of this El Dorado offense beat them here, getting to the edge and turning what should be minimal gains into big plays. They got to do a better job of tackling in space, and that will come if you're able to force these plays back inside. That'll just become that much easier if you can tighten down that space.
And if you're El Dorado, I think the only thing you need to tell your team is, hey, just keep doing what you're doing, because right now it's working. Their defense is really shutting down this Bears running attack, and their offense is kind of doing what they want. Either way, the score is 13-6 here at halftime. Let's go ahead and move on to some of our other PCSSD games that are going on around the state, starting with Joe T. Robinson and Mills. Right now, Mills is leading Joe T. Robinson 14-7, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct. 14-7.
14-7 with and they're about to head into halftime themselves. Moving on to Maumelle, the Maumelle Hornets. Right now, Maumelle is losing 32-14 to Watson Chapel. Kind of a surprise for the Hornets tonight, because they were picked to win this ball game.
Yeah, Watson Chapel, has had their fair share of struggles this season, and they're playing well on the road and up big on Maumelle at half. See if Weston Pierce and company can turn that one around in the second half. But back to Mills and Joe T. Robinson. That was the game we had circled coming into this week. Mills putting their undefeated record on the line tonight against, by far the best competition they've faced, and Joe T. Robinson. Just two really good quarterbacks between Achilles Ringo and the sophomore phenom Quentin Murphy. But it's a relatively low-scoring game for what those two teams are accustomed to, 14-7 at half. That ought to just be a great finish to that ball game.
Yeah, you're very right on that. Most of the time, we see a lot of points on the board when it comes to both those teams. Joe T. Robinson has a very good defense. Unfortunately, after losing Noah Freeman, it seems like their offense is taking a bit of a stutter. The Comets offense, on the other hand, Jabray Shaw, he's kind of unstoppable at times, it feels like. And now, and good for them, they are up on Joe T. Robinson and looking to make a really big statement here tonight. Moving on to our Natural State Sports game to watch. It is Bryant at Cabot. Bryant is leading Cabot 10-7 there at halftime, and Cabot will be receiving to start the second half. That is a very close ball game, and if you're a Cabot Panther, if you're a Panther fan for Cabot, you got to be really excited. Holding Bryant to only 10 points in that first half, you're giving yourself a really good shot to come out of there with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. You're in a great spot on the road. Anytime you can keep the scoring low on the road, it gives you just that much better of a chance. And with a 10-7 ball game going into that third quarter, I don't think the Panthers could have asked for a better first half, really looking to slay the beast that is the Bryant Hornets.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to our Ankles Carpet One halftime show. When we get back from break, it'll be time for our second half kickoff.
It is the grand opening sale at Ankles Carpet One.
Get up to 50% off store-wide with payments as low as $40 per room per month. Plus, get your sales tax paid.
We make it beautiful.
For less.
It is the grand opening sale at Ankles Carpet One.
Get up to 50% off store-wide with payments as low as $40 per room per month. Plus, get your sales tax paid.
We make it beautiful.
For less.
Welcome back, Bears fans, to this great matchup tonight between the Sylvan Hills Bears and the El Dorado Wildcats on the PCSSD Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports. It's about time to get this second half underway, as El Dorado has sent their kick return team onto the field, and now here comes the Bears kickoff team.
Yeah, this is a huge series right here for the Bears defense. You know, you ended the half with a little bit of momentum with the scoop and score on the punt. And the interception there at the end of the half from Al Sindor. Just it all starts right here on this kickoff. It's got to first be in bounds, and then you've got to do a good job on coverage to limit the return, to set your defense up and give them a chance here on this drive.
Absolutely. You know, if you can come out here and get a quick stop, you really have the momentum after the Bears. Gonzalez with the kick, and it is away. And it is a good kick, and it goes all the way into the end zone for a touchback. That's the leg we are used to seeing from Gonzalez. And now the El Dorado Wildcats offense is going to start at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, great kick there from Gonzalez. That's what we're used to seeing out of him. Good to see him get back to the form we've seen all season.
All right, like we said during our halftime show, the Bears really need to work on setting the edge, because when Plummer gets the ball and all he has to do is stretch that defense out, and it just seems like he can always find the edge, and he cuts it up and no one's going to stop him, and he gets about just a good chunk of yards every single time. So if you're this Bears defense, you've got to set the edge. Plummer back to take the snap for the Wildcats. Takes the snap. Hands it off to the running back on the left side. Gets all the way out to about the first down marker, and it is going to be a first down for the Wildcats. That's going to be a Medicine Shop first down.
Yeah, they've really just had their way around the edge against this three-man front for the Bears. See if they can maybe switch it up a little bit and give them a different look defensively. Because when they get that three-man front, they're really attacking the edge, and have had all kinds of success off tackle tonight.
Plummer takes the snap and goes over his head all the way. It falls onto the ground. Plummer's going to keep it himself, though, on the right side. Tries to get something out of it, but he gets shoved out of bounds. And it's going to be a loss of about 2 yards right there. Good job by Plummer to turn what would have been a disastrous play into something not too bad. Only a loss of 3 right there.
Yeah, again, Plummer showing the athleticism. No panic right there. Snap over his head. Again, gets a pretty good bounce and picks that ball up, and you're right, turned what looked to be disaster into, not so bad for the Wildcats. Going to set them up about 2nd and 14.
Ball at about the 27-yard line. Ely takes a snap, looking to pass on the left side, and he does, and the pass is short. Wide receiver tried to get down there low enough and grab it, but he couldn't as the ball hits the ground, and that's going to fall incomplete. Now it's going to be 3rd and about 14.
Yeah, that's a long throw right there from quarterback John Ely, and that one just falls short on him. Going to bring up a big 3rd down early here in this half, see if this Bears defense can't get off the field.
Ely's going to be back to take the snap right here. Watch maybe a pass out to Plummer on the right side. Ely takes the snap, looking to pass over the middle. Nowhere to go with it. He's getting pressured, and he's going to be sacked by Kanye Williams. Kanye Williams comes in flying over an offensive lineman, just comes out of nowhere for a great sack on that play, and now that's going to bring up 4th down.
Kanye Williams from the top rope there just comes out of the sky and comes up with the big play for the Bears defense. We'll see what the Wildcats do on 4th down.
Ely is still out there to take the snap. And he does, but it's going to be a punt. They punt it away. It's going to hit at the 40-yard line, roll all the way to the 30 to about the 26-yard line before it's picked up by a Wildcat offensive person. And now that is where the Bears offense is going to start their drive. 26-yard line.
Great job right there from the Bears. You get a break with the bad snap on 1st down and really got the Wildcats behind the sticks and forced them to throw the ball a couple times. And they both fall incomplete, and the Bears force the punt. I think anytime the Wildcats go away from Plummer, you're doing Sylvan Hills a favor. So we thank you for that one on that drive, and hopefully the Bears can take advantage and put some points on the board.
Tyner takes a snap, Hands it off up the middle to Laughlin, I believe it was. They get about 3 yards on that play.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Laughlin tonight. And what we have seen from him earlier in the season, and he's been a great back to spell Harris, give him a break, who plays both ways. He's really showed some explosiveness himself. See if he plays a little bit more in the second half with Dylan Harris getting more defensive snaps.
We have seen him break off a few big runs earlier on in the season. It's going to be 2nd and 6 now for the Bears. Tyner takes the snap, hands it off to Laughlin once again, who weaves his way in between some defenders for a decent gain of about 3 or 4 yards right there. And that's going to bring up 3rd and about 4.
That will say game 3 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3. These are the situations that we usually see the Bears thrive in. You know, when it's 3rd and short, they usually find a way to get that first down. Dylan Harris is back in the ball game.
See if he gets his number called on this one.
Takes the snap, hands it off to Dylan Harris, who cuts it up the left side. He's gonna get all the way to the 50. Still breaking tackles up to the 40. Huge gain right there. That's going to be a gain of about 40 yards right there. Great run by Dylan Harris, who finds the seam, cuts it upfield, and that's going to be a medicine shot first down for the Bears.
Huge play right there on 3rd down. Felt like he almost had to have that one, albeit early in the second half. But the Bears open up a huge hole, and Harris picks up a very nice gain on 3rd and short. Going to give the Bears a fresh set of downs into Wildcat territory at about the, where are we at, 36-yard line.
36-yard line after a great run by Dylan Harris. Takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Harris once again, who falls forward for about a 4-yard gain right there, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 6. This Wildcat offense doesn't seem to be shooting upfield as hard as they were in that first half. I don't know if maybe they had so much free running room earlier on in that first half. They might maybe tire themselves out. But I see some hands on the hips out there as the Bears are stringing together a pretty decent drive.
Yeah, typically as the game goes on, just naturally the defensive line will slow down a bit. If you can weather that storm early on in the game, you should be able to open up some more holes in the second half.
Tyner takes a snap, hands it off to Harris up the middle. Gets all the way up to the 25-yard line, and that's going to be a medicine shot first down for the Bears.
Another nice run right there from Dylan Harris. Just always going to pick up 3-4 yards extra after that first contact. Just a real strong runner, physical runner. See if the Bears can keep this drive going.
Tyner takes the snap, hands it off to Harris, who cuts it around the left side. Gets a good gain out of that play. Gets all the way up to about the 19-yard line. It's going to be a 5-yard gain. Bring up a 2nd and 5. Tyner under center. Takes the snap. Hands it off to Harris up the middle. Finally, Harris is met behind the line of scrimmage for about no gain right there. Finally, the Wildcats had an answer for him, and now that's going to bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, maybe lost a yard on that one. Going to bring up a 3rd and 5, a very important 3rd and 5 for the Bears. See if you can't pick up maybe half of this. Give yourself a chance on 4th down. Don't know if you'd elect for a field goal in this situation.
I wouldn't expect Coach Chris Hill to elect for a field goal, but we'll see. Tyner takes the snap, hands it off to Harris up the middle, who's met behind the line of scrimmage again for no gain. And now that's going to bring up a 4th down, and Coach Chris Hill has a decision to make.
Looks like he's going to keep the offense on the field.
4th and 4. The Bears offense is looking to the sideline to get their call. Tyner's under center. Takes the snap. Tyner keeps it himself. And the ball comes out before the whistle is blown, and El Dorado is going to grab it. And now that's going to be a 1st down now for the Wildcats. I think either way they were going to take over right there, because I don't think he had enough for that 1st down.
Yeah, I think he was going to be short either way. Tough right there from the Bears. Tyner tries to cut it inside, and there was just nothing there for him, and the Bears are going to turn the ball over. Guess they did officially rule that a fumble. Going to be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. They will have to go 81 yards to hit pay dirt here, see if this Bears defense come up with another stop.
Ely takes the snap, passes it quick out to Burns on the left side. Burns has a lot of room. He's up to the 40-yard line, 45, 50, 55, or 40, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Wildcats. Burns is speedy, and he showed it right there as he burns the Bears. And that's going to be a touchdown for the Wildcats, brought to you by Dio Vanucci's Cornerstone Home Lending.
Yeah, Burns earned his last name on that one. Just catches that ball, had some good blocks from his receivers out there. And he didn't look back. He takes it 81 yards to the house. It's going to give the Wildcats a 13-point lead pending this PAT.
Kick is up, and it is good. And that is going to make our score 20-6 with 5 minutes and 31 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter. Wildcats lead it. That's unfortunate. The Bears defense did a really good job to force the Wildcats offense off the field very early at the beginning of this 2nd half. The Bears offense comes out. Looks like they were stringing along a decent drive. Wildcats get a stop, and first play out, they go ahead and make the Bears pay.
Yeah, the Bears, you're not out of this football game, certainly. You're down 14. That does, maybe seem insurmountable based on what we've seen from the offense so far this game. But, the offense has shown the ability to string together drives and put points on the board. Still plenty of time in this game with 5 minutes and 31 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. That did definitely feel deflating for the Bears. Just got to get this kick return, maybe get some positive yardage. Get a little juice back in the sideline and put together a scoring drive offensively.
And it's going to be an onside kick. And it's going to be touched by Colin Billings, who doesn't keep hold of it, and the Wildcats fall on it. And they are going to take over on offense once again.
Yeah, that's tough right there. Good call right there from the El Dorado coaching staff. Surprise onside kick. Got a great bounce. It bounces right over the front line for the Bears. And, if you're Billings on that one, I think you got to just try and fall on that football. Looked like he was trying to catch it on the bounce and make a play.
That was a good onside kick. They, like you said, they got a really good bounce right there, and that's what you're looking for when you kick that onside like that. It really worked out perfect for the Wildcats, and now it's up to this Bears defense to come out here and make a stop and try to save the ball game for them. Ely takes the snap, hands it off to Burns. Burns is going to cut it out to the right side, gets around the corner, finally gets shoved out of bounds after about an 8-yard gain right there.
Yeah, that little touch pass sweep there.
Oh,
you see so many pro teams run these days, and I think that's quarterbacks love that play, right? It's a little simple, goes down in the stat book as a pass.
Plummer takes the snap, keeps it himself up the middle, makes a couple men miss. He's on the right side. He's going to be all the way up to the 25-yard line. Finally gets taken down after some shifty moves from Plummer. He's going to have a Medicine Shop first down for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Josiah Rainey finally brings him down there. You saw the athleticism from Plummer. He's a really nice playmaker for the Wildcats. When he gets in space, he's tough to bring down.
Ely takes the snap, hands it off to Plummer up the middle. Plummer, he's got a bunch of room now up to the 15-yard line. 10, finally gets taken down. I thought he looked like he was heading for the end zone right there. Either way, it's going to be a Medicine Shop first down for the Wildcats, and it's going to be 1st and goal now at the 7.
Looks like Plummer's going to take the direct snap here.
Plummer takes the snap, keeps himself on the left side, directing his blocker, and he's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of about 2. The Bears defense read it well right there.
Yeah, nice play right here by Dylan Harris, blowing up the lead blocker. Just quarterback power left, and Dylan Harris does a good job blowing up this blocker. It was ultimately his own man that brings down Plummer in the backfield, just trips over his own feet.
That was a good job. The Wildcats scored on that play earlier on in the night, so it was a good job of the Bears to read it and sniff it out. Ely takes the snap, looking to pass over the middle, passes away, and there's no one in the vicinity of that pass.
It looked like his receiver fell down, but I don't think it would have mattered. That one sailed well out of the back of the end zone.
And now that's going to bring up a 3rd down for the Wildcats.
Man, if you're the Bears, you feel like you got to force a field goal attempt on this one. Just cannot let them score on this play.
If you want to stay in this ball game, you definitely need to force a field goal.
They got Burns at the top of your screen singled out.
Hand it off to Plummer on the left side. Plummer's going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage. That was a great job of that Bears defense to get penetration and force Plummer to cut it out to the left side. And right there waiting for him was a host of defenders. And now the Wildcats are going to send on their field goal unit. It's a good job by Pete Overton making that tackle right there on the edge. The kick is up, and it is good. And that is going to make the score 23-6 Wildcats with 2 minutes and 47 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter. If you're the Bears, you're happy you held them to at least a field goal right there. You know, you still have a whole entire quarter to play. There's 2 minutes and 47 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter. You have a whole quarter to play with that 4th quarter. So you got to think there's still time on the clock, no reason to give up. But if you don't score here, it's not going to be looking too good for the Bears.
Yeah, the 17-point deficit. The Bears got to get this football. You got to go get points, and you got to get it on this drive. We got some commotion going on the El Dorado stands here. You hear any foul language, I do apologize.
Back to receive this kickoff is going to be Cleo Penn and Carlos Stevens. We've seen Cleo Penn make some noise in the special teams game. And I think it was the first game of the year. Let's see if he can't pull some magic out of his hat. Kick is away. And it's caught by Cleo Penn. Penn up the right side. He's got some room up to the 30, 35, but finally it's shoved out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. That was a good return by Penn right there. Good return, and it's going to set up this Bears offense in decent field position to start this offensive drive.
Yeah, that's what you needed right there if you're the Bears. Got to set your offense up. Good field position here. 2 minutes left in this quarter. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Down 17. Got to put something together here if you're the Bears on offense.
Tyner under center. Takes the snap. Fakes a pitch, and he tries to pass it, and it just slips out of his hands. He had a wide open wide receiver right there. Carlos Stevens running down the sideline. I'm not really sure how that ball slipped out of his hands. He reared back, and it just slipped out of his hands. There's no really other explanation for it right there. Very confusing play. That's a huge loss. That's a loss of about 10, and now it's going to be 2nd and 20.
Yeah, had Carlos Stevens wide open, and you're right, ball just slipped right out of his hands. Really fortunate he was able to get that ball back as he had some pressure in his face, but is able to fall on it. But it's going to be 2nd and 20 for the Bears.
Tyner takes the snap, pitches it to Penn on the left side. Penn's going to cut it up. He's got a little bit of room up to the 50, all the way to the 40, 30, 25, and he's finally hawked down right there. I'm really surprised someone caught him. I thought he was going to take it to the house. Either way, though, that ball's going to be placed at about the 25-yard line. Huge game by Cleo Penn, and that's just a great run for a Medicine Shop first down.
Yeah, man, the Bears needed that one, that's for sure. And, that's why Cleo Penn's in the ball game. He's a home run hitter for you. You're right. That's the first time I think we've seen someone. Oh, and it looks like there's a flag on the field going to be holding against the Bears. This one's going to come back. Man, that's a backbreaker if you're this Bears offense.
Holding against the Bears, and that's a crushing blow for the Bears. They really needed some life, and Penn gave them something. And now, unfortunately, they're going to be right back where they started at a yard ahead of where they started. 2nd and 19 now. 2nd and 19. See what Chris Hill draws up for the offense. Tyner takes a snap, pitches it back to Penn. Once again, same play. This time they ran it to the short side of the field. There wasn't any room for him to run right there. And he gets pushed out of bounds after about a 4-yard gain. Tyner takes the snap, looking to pass, throws it over the middle, and he's just way over the head of Cleo Penn right there. Cleo had no shot at catching that ball. He jumped up, tried to, but, he was still 2 feet under the ball. There was just no shot for him right there, and now that's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and, man, Penn's wide open on that one. If you're Tyner, you just got to put a little more air under that ball. Just give your receiver a chance. But unfortunately, it's going to bring up 4th and long, and the Bears are going to have to punt this one away.
Colin Billings is my mistake. The punt is away. Decent punt for the Bears right here. Goes all the way out to the 25-yard line. And that's a good job by the Bears to at least flip the field. And now the Wildcats are going to take over at about the 28-yard line.
Check that. Looks like the spot will be at their own 28.
Really appreciate you guys tuning into our broadcast tonight, both fan bases, the Wildcats and the Bears. We really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, if you're enjoying the broadcast, go ahead and hit a thumbs up and that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. Ely takes the snap, passes it out to the left side. Burns is going to make a man miss, gets all the way up to the 40-yard line before he gets pushed out of bounds. I believe that's going to be a Medicine Shop first down for the Wildcats, and it is after that 15-yard gain from Burns.
Yeah, man, Burns is an impressive football player. Anytime he's gotten space tonight, he's made a play. Bears have really had a tough time getting him on the ground. Just really got to do what you can to limit the space you give to him.
Ely back to take the snap, and he does. Looking over the middle, and he throws it to Plummer, who's wide open, and nobody's going to catch him. Up to the 10-5 touchdown Wildcats. There was just nothing that was going to stop Plummer on that play as he turned on the jets, and no one was going to stop him. That touchdown is brought to you by Theo Vanucci of Cornerstone Home Lending.
Yeah, they've had a lot of receivers wide open down the middle here tonight. Make them pay on that one, and
the PAT attempt is up, and it is good. And now that's going to make it 30-6 Wildcats with 1 minute and 7 seconds left to go in this third quarter. The Wildcats are starting to run away with it. Unfortunately, the Bears have got to do something to step it up. A minute and 7 seconds left to go in this third quarter. It is just not gone the Bears' way after halftime here. They had a chance to score, and not capitalizing on these scores is just really killing them. I think they've had the ball within the 30-yard line at least twice in this ball game and came away with no points. When you get in that red zone, you've just got to turn it into points.
yeah, they haven't done a very good job finishing off drives. And, again, it's been the killers all year, turnovers and penalties that have really just set them back. When the Bears haven't turned the ball over tonight, they've, fumbled a snap or bobbled a pitch and just really set them behind the sticks. And that's just something this offense isn't built to overcome. You've got to stay on schedule, and that's just something they haven't done here tonight.
Back to receive this kick is Khalil Penn and Carlos Stevens. The kick is away, and it's going to be Penn to catch it once again. Penn catches it at the 10-yard line, tries to cut it across the field, gets stopped at about the 23-yard line, and that's where this Bears offense is going to take over. Minute left to go in this third quarter.
Yeah, the Bears need a quick score if they want to get back into this football game. Going to need a couple quick scores here.
Tyner takes the snap, pitches it back to Penn on the left side. Penn is going to cut it up. He's got a little bit of room, but he's going to get taken down after about a 7-yard gain right there. And that's going to bring up second and 3 for the Bears offense. 47 seconds left to go in the quarter. Tyner takes the snap, looking to pass, and the ball comes out. Ball still on the ground, and the Wildcats are going to fall on it after the fumble by Gavin Tyner. Tyner fumbles the ball. The Wildcats come away with it, and now they are in great field position to just tack on another 6 points.
Yeah, looking to throw the ball. Tyner just sees the pressure at the last minute that the D lineman's able to get his hand on the football and cause the fumble. And you're right, it's going to set up the Wildcats with 1st and 10 on the Bears' 18-yard line.
The Wildcats offense is now out on the field, starting this possession at the 18-yard line. Ely takes the snap, hands it off to Plummer up the middle. Plummer's going to take it on the right side, get about 4 yards on that play, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 6. And that's going to bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be time for the 4th quarter.
Buying a house can be intimidating, whether it's your first house or your 10th house. You know, and at Cornerstone, I feel like it's our job to kind of act as that offensive line for you. We want to help you get that ball to the end zone, so we're going to pave the way for you. And what we want to do is get you to the closing table on time with no stress, so you can do your own little touchdown dance, whatever that may be.
We are back, Bears fans, for the 4th quarter of play on the PCSSD Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports. The score is 30-6 Wildcats at the start of this 4th quarter. Not the best night for the Bears, but maybe they can take this as a learning experience. They have 3 more games after this. They have 2 more games after this. So just try to get some more wins to finish out the season.
Yeah, things really have unraveled here for the Bears in that 3rd quarter.
Plummer passes it out left to Burns, who cuts it off and he runs right into the end zone. And that is going to be another touchdown for the Wildcats, brought to you by Dio Vanucci with Cornerstone Home Lending. The Bears just really haven't had an answer for Plummer or Burns tonight. Burns has really just kind of exploded in the second half. He had a couple good plays in the first half, but this second half is really where he has shined. It was a closer ball game in the first half. Now the Wildcats are starting to run away with it. PAT is up, and it is good. And now the score is going to be 37-6 Wildcats with 11 minutes and 54 seconds left to go in this ball game.
Got a quick score update for you. That Mills-Joe T. Robinson game. Robinson has tied the game up. It's 14-14 with 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Looks like Mills does have the football.
Both kickoff teams are on the field now as El Dorado is about to kick it off. The kick is away, and they kick it to Cleo Penn. Once again, it's going to go. Cleo Penn is going to catch it before it goes out of bounds, though. He's going to try to cut it across the field, and he's taken down at the 10-yard line. That was probably a poor decision by Cleo Penn to pick it up before it went out of bounds. And now they're going to have a really tough time having to go 90 yards to try to score this ball.
Yeah, it's a mistake there from Penn. Looked like that ball is going to go out of bounds. That is a tough play there if you let that ball hang around too much. Someone on the coverage team come down and recover it, but nonetheless, it's going to back the Bears up in their own territory, and you're right, they have a long field if they want to put points on the board here.
Tyner hands the ball off to Dylan Harris, who makes a couple men miss and then carries a couple defenders all the way up for an 11-yard gain. My mistake, they're going to call it just a yard short of the first down marker. Now it's going to be 2nd and inches.
Got a quick score update for you. Bryant has just scored to go on top of Cabot 17-10 with 5 minutes and 3 seconds left in that football game.
Tyner takes the snap, hands it off to Laughlin on the right side. Laughlin gets all the way up to about the 25-yard line, and that's going to bring up a Medicine Shop first down for the Bears. Give you another score update. Maumelle is trying to make a comeback here against Watson Chapel as they are down 32-21 within the third quarters. They were down 32-14 earlier in the ball game. So it's good job by the Hornets to try to get back in that ball game. They are without Coach Brian Maupin tonight, so they've got a tough task to try to come back in that ball game. Tyner takes the snap, hands it off to Laughlin. Laughlin up the middle, falls forward at about the 34-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 7. Tyner takes the snap, hands it off to Dylan Harris on the right side. Dylan Harris just running over defenders. And they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. He kept running like he didn't. Either way, it's going to be a Medicine Shop first down for the Bears.
Yeah, another nice run there from Harris. You're right. It looks like he didn't think he stepped out of bounds, but they're going to mark him down at the 40-yard line. There's still another nice gain right there from Dylan Harris. Just a tough runner. Just refuses to go down.
And El Dorado's going to take a timeout. El Dorado's going to take a timeout up 31 points.
Yeah, not sure if the coaches get paid by the hour or not, but that's a strange timeout, up 31 in the fourth quarter for sure.
Up 31 in the fourth quarter, 10 minutes and 27 seconds left to go in the ball game. That definitely is somewhat of a strange timeout right there. Either way.
Do have another update for you in that Bryant and Cabot game. Bryant comes up with a big interception to get the ball back up 17-10 with 3 minutes and 7 seconds left. Couple of first downs from the Hornets, and they could put that game on ice.
And the Bears offense is back out on the field to continue their drive. It's going to be a first down for them. First down here. Tyner takes a snap, hands it off to Harris up the middle, who gets about 3 yards on that play, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 7 now for the Bears. No, there's definitely a tight game going on over there with Joe T. Robinson and Mills. It's going to be, it looks like it's going to be an exciting finish for that in that matchup, and it's it's really going to put a stamp on what's going on in that 5A Central Division.
Yeah, Mills and Joe T. Robinson just locked in a really good football game there. Mills is driving inside the Joe T. 20-yard line.
Tyner takes the snap, hands off to Harris, who cuts it around, making men miss. Finally gets taken down after about a 15-yard gain right there. And that's going to be a Medicine Shop first down for the Bears.
Man, it doesn't matter the score. Dylan Harris, he just doesn't give up. He's always going to run hard. Always going to finish runs. Just got to love his heart.
Tyner takes a snap, pitches it back to Cleo Penn, who's got some room on the left side. Gets all the way up to about the 30. Still not going down. Finally gets taken down after a good 13-yard gain right there. And now it's going to be a Medicine Shop first down for the Bears with 9 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in this ball game. No, like you were saying about Dylan Harris, he is a senior, and he's just not gonna give up. Unfortunately, the outcome of this ball game isn't going to go his way tonight, but he's definitely a guy that won't give up on a play no matter the score. Hands it off to Dylan Harris up the middle. Dylan Harris carrying defenders. Finally gets taken down after a 3-yard gain right there, and it's going to bring up 2nd and 7. Tyner takes the snap, pitches it back to Cleo Penn on the right side. Penn gets shoved out of bounds after a gain of only about 3. And now it's going to be 3rd and 3 with 8 minutes and 27 seconds left to go in this ball game.
Got another score update for you from our game to watch tonight as Bryant scores another touchdown to take the lead 24-10 with 1:59 left in that ball game. Looks like the Hornets are going to go on to win that game and remain undefeated on the season.
Continue that in-state winning streak and stay the top dog in the state of Arkansas in Class 7A. Hands it off to Dylan Harris, who carries a couple of defenders for about 5 yards right there, and that's going to be a Medicine Shop first down for the Bears. Tyner takes the snap, hands it off to Harris up the middle, who breaks a couple tackles, finally gets taken down. Gets taken down after about a 3-yard gain right there. Ball's going to be at the 10-yard line. Ball at the 10-yard line, and there it's going to be second and 7. Tyner takes the snap, pitches it back to Cleo Penn, who cuts it all the way on the right side. Tries to cut it upfield. Finally gets shoved out of bounds after gaining about 5 yards on that play.
Yeah, I think Joseph Thompson's going to get away with a little bit of a hold on this one, but nonetheless, it's going to be a pretty nice gain for Cleo Penn on the edge. Going to bring up 3rd and short for the Bears. See if they can pick this one up, keep this drive alive.
Tyner keeps it himself, falls forward for a first down on that play. Ball's going to be at about the 2-yard line, and it's going to bring up a Medicine Shop first down for the Bears and make it 1st and goal. Bears lining up again very quickly. Takes the snap. Tyner's going to keep it himself, and he's going to get in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Gavin Tyner. Touchdown, Bears. And that touchdown is brought to you by Dio Vanucci with Cornerstone Home Lending. That was a well-needed well-needed touchdown from Gavin Tyner, who hasn't had the best night, but it's good for him to get into the end zone.
Yeah, I love to see that for the senior go in, get a touchdown here tonight. Cut this Wildcat lead down to 25. Another update from that Joe T. Robinson and Mills game. Joe T. Robinson just came up with a huge stop on 4th and 1 from their own 16-yard line. The Mills will turn the ball over on downs. That ball game's nearing the end of the third quarter.
Sylvan Hills takes a timeout before they attempt this PAT. Not sure what they're discussing over there. Maybe they're discussing a 2-point conversion possibly. Either way, I really appreciate you guys tuning into our broadcast tonight. If you're enjoying the broadcast, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up and subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. And they will be going for 2 here. Tyner takes the snap, pitches it back to Carlos Stevens. Carlos Stevens is going to be slung down way behind the line of scrimmage. Probably should have blown that whistle about 5 seconds before they did. Either way, the 2-point conversion is no good. And now that's going to leave the score at 37-12. Wildcats with 7 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in this ball game. Both kickoff teams are going to take the field now. Brian Gonzalez on to attempt to kick it off for the Bears. There's a squib kick. I heard a whistle. I believe I heard a whistle.
Yeah, I heard a whistle blow as well, right in the middle of the play. Both coaches upset about it. Nonetheless, looks like the Wildcats are going to retain possession here. The Bears definitely had a shot at that one. It looked like was a pretty good kick and kind of a dead spot there, but both teams just kind of standing around.
I'm not sure if there's a whistle in the stands or if it was an accidental whistle from the official, but I definitely heard a whistle right there. Not really sure what happened.
Minas and Gonzalez go a little early there before they had.
The umpire whistled, but they're not going to call the play dead after he blows the whistle. That's the strange call by the officials. Not really sure how they got to that conclusion. Either way, the Wildcats are going to take over now at about the 46-yard line. Ely takes the snap, passes it out to Burns on the right side. Burns is going to cut it up all the way up to the 40 to the 30. Finally gets shoved out of bounds as the Wildcats make another passing attempt, and they get a first down on that play, a Medicine Shop first down. The Wildcats have a long drive home tonight. Ely takes the snap, hands it off to Plummer. Plummer cuts it up the middle, falls forward to about the 21-yard line. Wildcats have a long drive home tonight, and they are going to be getting back pretty late tonight.
Yeah, long drive back to El Dorado, but, you know, looking like they're going to win this football game and win it big, so that ought to be a pretty sweet drive home for the Wildcats.
You'd think we might see them run the ball right here. Ely takes the snap, pitches it forward to Burns. Burns is going to run around the left side. He's going to cut it back. Finally get taken down by a host of Bears. Helmet comes off on that side of the field. Tackle was made by Jaden Foster, Keyshawn Jones, and a couple other Bears. And now it's going to be an injury timeout, as I believe it's Burns still on the ground.
Yeah, you got to hope Burns is okay right there. Wildcat sidelines upset there wasn't a flag called, but I didn't see a face mask or anything like that. Looks like it just came off an illegal play, but looks like Burns is going to be all right. Looks like the injured player. I'm not sure who the injury was for. Maybe it was for Burns, but he comes jogging off the field. Coach still giving the referee an earful on that one.
Not really sure why. I didn't really see a flag right there. He was still when you're standing up and the whistle hasn't blown. I mean, that's a free, clean hit right there. The helmet came off, I think by accident. Well, it wasn't by force or by a hand or anything. So that's a clean play all the way. Not really sure what all the what that was all about. Either way.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really fault the coach for wanting to protect his guys on that one. Just anytime a helmet comes off, kind of a scary play, but no harm, no foul. I think everybody's going to walk away okay from that one.
Third and 5. Ball's at about the 25-yard line. Ely takes the snap, hands it off to Plummer up the middle. He's met hard by Jonathan Goins. Jonathan Goins takes him down. Jonathan Goins met him hard right there in the hole, and Plummer had nowhere to go. That was a good hit by Goins.
Yeah, we haven't called Goins' name too many times tonight after the big game last week against Catholic. The Wildcats have done a nice job just really running away from him and neutralizing him here in this football game. Looks like we're going to have some wholesale changes here for the Wildcats. Get some younger guys in, some second stringers. I believe that's the backup quarterback. Oh, here comes the punter now.
Going to be a timeout El Dorado, as I think there was a little bit of confusion. I think they were going to try to attempt a field goal, but there was some confusion for some reason. Either way, timeout Wildcats as they discuss it and make sure they get the right unit out there onto the field.
Yeah, the kicker wasn't ready to come onto the field there. Head coach for El Dorado was upset he didn't have the line judge there to call a timeout, but someone's got to watch the field goal to go through the uprights.
Four minutes and 38 seconds left to go in this ball game. Score is 37-12 Wildcats. And the Wildcats are about to come onto the field and attempt a field goal. This is going to be around a 40-yard attempt right here. Pretty decent length kick for the Wildcats.
Yeah, kicker shown he had plenty of leg throughout the night. Did have that one go off the upright, but
the kick is away. It had the leg, but it went left of the post, and so it is going to be no good And now that is going to let the Bears offense come back out on the field and take over. Tyner takes a snap, keeps it himself on the right side, and he's hit behind the line of scrimmage, manages to fall forward for maybe a yard on that play, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 9. Seems the Wildcat player is cramping up out there on the field, and you might expect that. You know, it's still not that cool. You know, you got to stay very well hydrated when you're playing a long game like this. Either way, that's going to be an injury timeout as the trainers come out onto the field.
Yeah, you hope that's all it is this late in the game with the game well in hand. He is favoring that leg considerably.
They lifted him up pretty quickly. I don't know if you get lifted up that quickly unless it's a cramp. I feel like they might have stayed out there to make sure it wasn't anything too serious, as he's walking on it on his own now. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. You know, hate to see players get injured.
Yeah, I think we're all smiles there. Looks like it's just going to be a cramp.
Tyner's going to take the snap, hand it off up the middle to Laughlin. Laughlin's going to break a couple tackles. Gets out to close to the 30-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 8 on that play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 1. Third and 1. Tyner takes the snap, keeps it himself, and falls forward for about a 5-yard gain right there. And that's going to be a Medicine Shop first down for the Bears. Tyner under center. Takes the snap. Looking to pass down the sideline. Passes it over to Scales, who drops the pass. He had his hands on it. It was good coverage by the Wildcats, though. Really was all up in the face of Scales, and he couldn't hold on to it. And now it's going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Scales had to kind of do that center field turn on that ball there, and it just falls through his hands. A pretty decent throw from Tyner. Scales just couldn't bring that one in. Pretty well covered by the Wildcat defense.
Tyner takes the snap, hands it off up the middle to Laughlin. Again, Laughlin's got some speed, and he gets a good 15-yard gain on that play. Gets it all the way up to the 46-yard line, and that's going to be another Medicine Shop first down for the Bears. Tyner takes the snap, hands it off up to Laughlin. Laughlin tries to cut it to the left on the outside, but he has nowhere to go, and he loses about 2 on that play. Going to give you a score update. The Maumelle Hornets are now only down by 3 against Watson Chapel with 11 minutes and 54 seconds left to go in that 4th quarter. They are really making a good comeback right here. That's turning into a very good ball game. Tyner takes the snap, pitches it to Cleo Penn on the right side. Penn tries to cut it up. Goes in between a few defenders. Finally gets taken down after a 3-yard gain on that play. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 11. Tyner takes a snap, fakes a pitch, throws it to a wide open Scales. Scales all the way up to the 20 to the 15-10. No one's going to catch him. 5. Touchdown, Scales. That was a good pitch and catch from Gavin Tyner and Scales. About time one of those hits as finally one of those hits, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Bears. That touchdown is brought to you by Dio Vanucci with Cornerstone Home Lending.
It's wide open down that sideline. Tyner puts it right on the numbers. Nice pitch and catch right there from the Bears. I'm afraid it's going to be too little too late for Sylvan Hills tonight.
Rivera kick is up, and it is good, and now the score is going to be 37-19 Wildcats with 1:37 left to go in this ball game. That touchdown will at least make it look a little bit more respectable in the scorebooks later on. Either way, there's 1:37 seconds left to go in this ball game, and I expect the Wildcats to get the ball on this kickoff and just take a knee.
Yeah, you may run a couple plays with your backups on offense just to get a little experience here. But, yeah, this game is all but over. And we hope you guys stick around for our postgame show. We'll announce a player of the game and preview next week's game for the Bears.
The Wildcats are going to send out their hands team for this one. It looks like they're expecting an onside kick. Gonzalez kicks it away, and it's deep, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. And the Wildcats are going to take over at the 20-yard line. And Dumas, the backup quarterback for the Wildcats, is out there on the field to take the snap. Dumas takes the snap, passes it to the left side, and he's going to try to cut it upfield and gets taken down after about an 8-yard gain right there.
Yeah, hit hard at the end of that one. Wildcats will come out in victory formation here. Gonna kneel this one out. Well, we'll have to snap it one more time, but that will be it for our ball game tonight.
Want to apologize for those bots in the chat. And that is a knee And that is going to be the end of the ball game as the clock is going to run down.
Yeah, tough one here for the Bears tonight. They were in this football game coming out in the second half and just really unraveled for them there in the third quarter. Couldn't get anything going offensively, and they had no answer for the speed of the Wildcat offense.
It's unfortunate for the Bears to get that loss. Either way, that's going to be the end of our ball game. Stay tuned for our post-game show when we will announce the player of the game. Welcome back, Bears fans, to our post-game show. Let's go ahead and give you some updates on our PCSSD scores going on around the state. Starting with Joe T. Robinson. Joe T. Robinson just scored a touchdown to go up 21-14 over Mills in the fourth quarter. That is still a very close game, and wouldn't be surprised if we see Mills score again in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, definitely some more fireworks left in that one. After we finish up here, swap it on over and tune into that Robinson and Mills game. That ought to be a good one.
Moving on to our Maumelle Hornets game. The Hornets are down 32-29 in the fourth quarter with 9:45 left, and they are in the red zone, knocking on the door, trying to get in that end zone. Either way, that's going to end. Our Natural State Sports game to watch was Bryant and Cabot. Bryant ended up winning that ball game 24-10. Want to go ahead and recognize our whole crew tonight. starting with my partner Dylan Harris. Really appreciate him coming out. Starting with my partner Dylan Davis. Really appreciate him coming out in the ball game. Bringing you all the action from up top of the press box is Valerie Haley, and on your field cam tonight is Patrick Haley, and on production was Will Watkins. Let's go ahead and name our player of the game. Our player of the game is going to be Steven Scales, who had a great touchdown catch, about an 80-yard touchdown catch there in that fourth quarter. That was a big catch, good pitching catch from Tyner to Scales. That was just a good job for him to hang on to the ball and get it into the end zone. That's going to do it for tonight's broadcast. I just want to thank you guys for joining us for Bears football on the PCSSD Sports Network, brought to you by Natural State Sports. If you aren't already, please subscribe to each of our school's network channels on YouTube and give this broadcast a thumbs up, please. Going to do a quick thanks to all our sponsors out there. The Medicine Shop of North Little Rock, Dio Vanucci with Cornerstone Home Lending, and the Ackles Carpet One Floor and Home.